The atmosphere here is right dull today, but in South Texas, it is electric. The geopolitical race for the moon has officially entered its most dangerous phase. Just weeks ago, we watched the Artemis 2 crew return from the deep space history books, proving human life support is ready for the moon. But as I told you in our last episode, the true gatekeeper of the lunar economy isn't Orion, it's the industrial heavy lifter waiting in South Texas. On May 22, 2026, SpaceX rolled out a giant. This was Starship Flight 12, the world's first highly anticipated debut of the Block 3 or version 3 architecture. Dollar, carrying a massive 2,300-ton propellant capacity and sporting the naked pipe-free Raptor 3 engines. But if Elon Musk promised a seamless orbital refueling pipeline, Flight 12 delivered a masterclass in high-stakes engineering chaos. A booster slammed into the ocean at nearly supersonic speeds, an engine out crisis in deep space, and a regulatory lockdown that has had the entire space industry holding its breath. As we speak, the FAA has officially cleared the stack and Flight 13 is sitting on the path, ready to launch. If you want to follow the capital, the tech, and the infrastructure before the boots hit the lunar regolith, welcome back to Orbit Alpha. Hit subscribe and let's look at the telemetry. To understand why Flight 12 is the most important launch of the decade, you have to look at what was missing from the rocket. Look at this engine, no external plumbing, no exposed sensors. By utilizing advanced 3D printed internal cooling channels, SpaceX stripped the Raptor 3 down to a pure naked block of raw power. It's lighter, it pushes a staggering 280 tons of thrust, and is built explicitly to survive the brutal thermal environments of rapid back-to-back reuse without maintenance. And that engine level diet allowed SpaceX to stretch the tanks. The Block 3 vehicle stands taller, holding over 2,000 tons of liquid oxygen and methane. When Flight 12 rolled off the brand new Part 2, it wasn't just testing engines, it was debuting an entirely new launch infrastructure. The booster featured a fully integrated hot stage ring that no longer jettisons, saving vital structural mass, and dropped the steering wheel fins from 4 down to 3 giant design structures. But when you push prototype limits on your very first one, physics strikes back. At hot staging, Booster 19 executed an incredibly violent flip to head home, but the sheer gravity of that turn caused a massive liquid fuel slush anomaly. Telemetry later revealed that the rapid slushing starved the manifold. When the flight computer commanded the newly minted Raptor 3s to relight for the boost back, the startup sequence failed. The booster couldn't light the required number of engines, aborting the burn early. Without enough active Raptors to slow its descent, Booster 19 bypassed the mechanical chopstick tower catch entirely. It plummeted through the clouds and slammed into the Gulf of Mexico at a brutal 1,450 km per hour. But while the booster was lost, the upper stage gave us an absolute masterclass in vehicle redundancy. 36 seconds into orbital ascent, Ship 39 lost one of its vacuum-optimized Raptor engines. On a traditional rocket, an engine out this early is an instant mission abort. But Starship's computer executed a brilliant pre-programmed contingency profile. It actively dipped the ship's nose, sacrificing altitude to trade it for the horizontal velocity needed to punch into its safe suborbital path anyway. And the views? Unbelievable. For the first time, SpaceX deployed 2 custom camera-equipped Starlink Inspector satellites nicknamed the Dodger Dogs that drifted alongside Ship 39, giving us our first ever external high-definition look at a Starship enduring the raw plasma of re-entry before its upright splashdown in the Indian Ocean. So, why did the FAA trigger a formal mishap investigation over a test flight, and what does it mean for the Artemis 3 landing timeline? It proves the upper stage, the human landing vehicle is rapidly maturing. Its thermal projection and engine out logic are rock solid, but the booster mishap is the ultimate reminder of the lunar pipeline absolute bottleneck, orbital propellant transfer. To send a single human lander to the lunar South Pole, SpaceX doesn't just need a functional Starship. They have to launch up to 10 of these Block 3 tankers in rapid succession to fill an orbital propellant depot. If a single booster failure ground locks the fleet for 2 months, like we just saw between May and July, the entire logistics pipeline collapses. That is why Flight 13, preparing to launch as we speak, is the most critical flight in SpaceX history. SpaceX has modified the engine startup sequence to handle the timing variability of the fuel slush. They have updated the engine alarm and abort thresholds on booster 20, and for the first time ever, this flight will deploy a functional payload of next-generation Starlink V3 satellite to prove commercial viability. If booster 20 fails its landing burn again today, the Artemis 2027 timeline is in jeopardy. If it succeeds, the highway to the moon is officially open. The hardware is on the path, the FAA license is signed, and the capital is flowing. Let me know in the comments, do you think booster 20 is going to make a clean splashdown today, or are we looking at another hardware limit anomaly? If you want to stay ahead of the next industrial era, make sure you're subscribed. Until next time, I'm Ulrich and this is Orbit Alpha. We'll see you at the South Pole.